I guess the mic was off and you couldn't hear anything. That's unfortunate. Oh well. You live and learn. Okay. So we now have our equals method. Are you interested in a maintenance page? What does that even mean? Right. So where were we? We were in lim. If items dot keys dot any that. In fact, can I do here? Var old item equals items. In fact, no, we just need to go. Items item plus plus, right? Turn true. Otherwise, items dot add item 1. Return true. So this should give us. Let's think about this. Add item should now, if we pass in an item, if we're already at our max, we return false. If we already have the item, we increase its count. Otherwise, we add the item and we give it a count of 1. So that's reasonable. So now we can do lim add item. We can go back to the body builder. We might want to make an item builder. Modify limbs. That's cool. We need a new one. Public static body modify items. Modify held items. This body int complexity. Return body. Here we need to var item type equals, in fact, in lim, let's do public int max carry is carrying max is holding max. Lim type. In fact, no, just is holding max. And then we can do return count. However, we also need to say you can only do this if you're a hand or a mouth. So if type does not equal lim type dot head and height does not equal lim type dot arm, then it is holding the max. Otherwise, it's only holding the max if it's got as many items as it does limbs. So I'm just going to pop to the loo. I am returned, as they say. Mexican Gamer is back. Or he's gone again. I think I fixed my audio issues at least. I'm just gonna roll myself a cigarette whilst I ponder this. Feel kinda bad for the Mexican Gamer. Popped in, asked if I wanted to build a maintenance website, and then popped out again. Unfortunate. Royally unfortunate. Maybe he shall one day return. Maybe not. I guess we'll find out. So, right. Now I'm back on track. I have a cigarette. I have a drink. I actually have 2 drinks when the first one runs out. And I have an idea. So now that we have is holding max, which applies to both limbs that can hold things and limbs that can't. So it's nice and generic, as it were. I should really be using polymorphism for this, but I can't be bothered. You know, not until it's relevant. I'm still considering this to be a prototype. Until then, well, we'll see. One day, maybe I will make it proper, add my unit tests, all that good stuff, because this stuff is perfectly unit testable. It's just I can't be bothered. I write unit tests a lot in work usually, and I can't be bothered. That's all there is to it. Doesn't go further than that. So I think we're at the stage now where we can modify held items. So the first thing we need to do let's have a think about this while I finish my ciggy. A lot of this is going to be the same. We want our while loop. I know my keyboard's noisy, but nobody's watching anyway, so who gives a shit? While current is less than complexity. Okay. So we're going to keep doing something until it's complex enough. The question is one of, what is that something going to be? And has my stream just died? They're the two important questions to be answered. Let's find out. Let us find out. It says that I'm live. Let us find out. I am live. And there's Mexican Gamer saying he can't hear anything. It says that I'm live, which was a valid criticism. So I guess the question is, if it is live, and I have no reason to believe that it's not, why is it not working on the phone? That is the question. Why is it not working on my phone? My phone has the Wi-Fi. Curiouser and curiouser. Curiouser plus curiouser equals things are right now. Well, one thing I can do is turn down the brightness of my phone, that's for sure. Killing the battery. Maybe if I skip to there. And then I go home and I go to live, and there we go, it's working again now. Wicked. Right, I can get back to it. So, what was I pondering? How to do this. We don't need this stuff. What we can do is how should we do this? I think for held items, we just add them one by one. I think that makes a lot of sense. The first thing we need to do is check if we have anything we can hold. So if this dot if body dot can hold more, if the body can't hold more, current equals complexity and continue. Right. So if we can't hold any more, we're done. So if we go to body, we need to do public bool can hold more, and we need to return this dot limbs dot any this dot limbs dot any x dot key dot count does not equal x dot value. Is that right? No. X dot value dot is holding max. So we want to return if any of the limbs are not holding as much as they can. So now here we can say if everything is full, we're done. Otherwise, there's quite a lot we can do here. So if it can hold more, we want to go body dot what is modify held items? Modify held items doesn't actually exist. Why is it saying that? Modify held items is from my other body class. Common one. I think. Oh no, it's this. Okay, cool. That's fine. We want to do body dot if it can hold more, we want to create an item. So it's almost like we want an item builder. So let's do that. There's no point. Normally I would just say sod it and do it in here. But that is how my last one fell apart. So add class item builder, public static item new, and we want to do var item equals new item, and that takes a random helpers dot random enum value item type. Cool. And then we'll just return that. Wicked. So that gives us a new item. We can go and then we can do body dot add item if res current plus continue. Then we need to go to body. We need to add a method here. Public bool add item, add held item. Item. Cool. Add held item. Item. Wicked. And we want to say if you can't hold more, false. No, we shouldn't really need to make that check, but we will. And then we need to do var lim equals this limbs first no. What's this limbs? It's limb type limb, so we need to go value to get the first limb that's not holding its maximum, and then go limb dot add item. Cool. So if we can't hold more, fail. Get the first, if we can hold more, get the first limb that is not holding as much as it can, and add the item to it. We may want to do something a bit cleverer than that in the future, but for now, that's fine. If we go back to the bodybuilder, that's cool. So now we should be able to generate random items to be held. Question is, how complex should we make it? For now, we'll leave it at that. Here we need to do public override to string. Here we need to say I'm just going to do this hackily for now. A giant blue sword. If adjective dots has value, stir plus equals adjective plus a space. If color has value, stir plus equals color plus a space. And then stir plus equals item type. Return stir. Cool. So this should give us something nice. Now that we have this, we should be able to, in the body, no, in the limb, we should be able to do public override string to string. Here we want to here we want to what do we want to do first? We want to iterate through the items to get their strings, because that's going to give us all of these. So we want to say var item words equals items select items dot values dot select and we want to do x dot item dot select. We want to do values dot number to item. Values is value number to words plus x dot plus that plus x dot key. And this should give us return stir equals item words dot. I did this yesterday. I did what I want to do here yesterday. Where was it? It was in Avatar, I think. Where is it? To holding string. Here we go. So we get all the held words, and then we want to do this. There's no point reinventing the wheel. So we can say get all but the last one. It's a pretty lame way of doing it, but it does the job. And then we want to join them all but one. We can say that. And then what was the final bit of that? Here. It's a bit of a mess. But I think it'll work. So this is saying get all the items, write out how many of them there are, plus their description. Get all of them except one, join them together by commas. If there are any but one, so if there's multiple, say and the last one, otherwise just say the last one, then return it. So that should be fine. Then we can go back to the body and we can say plus, well, we can do public string get holding string var equals. Then we can do in its type to string cool. Then we want to do basically the same thing here. Should really turn this into a nice method, but for now I can't be bothered. So we want to say limb words should be limbs select x dot value, get all the limbs, get all but one, join them, do that, do that. What doesn't it like about that? Cannot implicitly convert to string. Alright, that should be plus equals. And that means I should be doing that here as well. Cool. Now, this is likely to fall apart. However, I'm curious to see what happens. I am curious to see what happens. Here goes. It'll probably crash. Or fail to build. Alright. And it crashed. Aha! Is holding any? We need to create a method in here. We've got is holding max. We also need is holding any. Return items values sum is greater than 0. Try that again. One Bible in its head and one sword in its arm in its human. Lim words is empty. So we need to say if lim words dot if there are no lim words, just return an empty string. Not ideal, but one Bible in its head, in its giraffe. One sword and one Bible in its head, in its giraffe. Why is it saying in its giraffe? Well, I guess it's because of that. One sword in its head, one Bible in its head, and one sword in its arm. one sword in its head, and one Bible and one sword in its arm. One Bible and one sword in its head. Let's up the complexity a bit. Let's up this. Complexity. One Bible, and one sword in its head. See, that's not right. Why is it doing that? I guess it's got 4 heads. So we can say something here isn't working. Can't hold more, return false. Otherwise, if you're not holding max, add an item. Maybe I need to do... Shouldn't have to do this, but you never know with this stuff. Bible. What am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong here? I guess it's doing it as references and not using my equals. That's not great. Let's try this. Comparable. I-equatable. I-equatable. Do that. I think item has to be comparable to. No. Let's Google this. Let us Google it. Let's go to the dashboard. Yeah, that's when my phone kept cutting out. I-equatable dictionary key. Class override equals and get hash code. Okay. Fair enough. That's right, dictionaries use hash. Get hash code is a string. No, it's not, it's an int. Var hash equals 1. Yeah. Hash, in fact not 1, do 5. Hash times equals adjective, adjective. Wait. Why not? How do you do that if it's null? Null operator C#. Yeah. You know what? Let's just do that. Maybe that will work. 2 sword and 1 Bible. Then we need to say key dot pluralize x dot value key is the key is the item. So if we go to item and we say we'll go to helpers, we'll go to string helpers, we'll say public static string, no, public static, string, item, pluralize this item, then we can say if item dot, we do need to count count is greater than 1. Return item to string plus s. Return item to string. Is that going to work? Maybe it will. Why was I doing that in lim? Item does not contain a value for pluralize. Well, I mean, it kind of does. I have to. Yeah. Now what's it doing? 2 swords and 1 Bible. 2 swords, 2 swords and 1 Bible. We also want to in its type to string. I wonder if we can do this. Never tried this before. It's not going to work. Maybe if I go public, in fact, no, I'll just do it. Lim type extensions. Get plural. Public static string. Get held description. Get held. Description. This lim type. Teeth. In fact, just mouth. And it should be arm. Cool. One sword in its mouth, and 1 Bible, and 1 sword in its hand. If type equals lim type if item no if if item words greater than item words count is greater than 1. This is starting to get hacky. This is starting to get muchos hacky. 2 Bibles and 1 sword in its mouth. In its mouths. Yeah. Get rid of that S. We can do that. 2 swords in its hand. 1 Bible and 1 sword in its mouths, and 1 sword in its hand. 2 Bibles and 1 sword in its mouths, 2 swords in its mouth, and 1 Bible in its hand. It's because it's only got 1 item word. We need to say if items dot no, just if count. If count is greater than 1. 1 sword in its mouth, 3 Bibles and 1 sword in its mouths, 4 swords in its mouths, 2 Bibles and 2 swords in its hands, 3 Bibles in its mouths, 1 Bible in its mouth and 2 Bibles in its hands, 2 swords in its mouth, 2 Bibles and 1 sword in its hand. 3 swords in its hands. So where am I getting this from? I'm getting it from body. Body get holding string. I think I want a comma here. Yep, that's reasonable. So then I can do get string equals get description string plus blah blah blah. Should be plus equals. No. I can do that. Vaster equals. Let's see. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. Vaster equals. But no, that was fine. Because then we want to do if var holding stir equals this get holding string if holding stir does not equal that. Let me sort it. Holding stir. Let's see what this does now. Okay, we have a four-armed, four-headed, one-armed, one-legged pirate human. So we do want this if holding stir does not equal empty plus equals holding plus that. Now what do we get? Two-headed, four-legged, two-tailed, one-winged pirate eagle holding one sword and one Bible in its mouths. No-headed, one-armed, two-legged, two-tailed ninja giraffe holding one sword in its hand. Two-headed, four-tailed ninja human holding two Bibles in its mouths and two swords in its hands. No-headed, four-armed, no-legged pirate human holding three swords and one Bible in its hands. So you can see This is actually working. 3-headed, no-armed, one-legged ninja human holding one Bible and 2 swords in its mouths. No-headed, one-armed, no-tailed, 2-winged ninja giraffe holding one sword in its hand. What can I say? It's actually working. Time for a celebratory drink of Relentless. Very happy with that. Two-headed, seven-legged, two-tailed pirate giraffe holding one Bible and one sword in its mouths. It makes sense, at least. That's all I can really ask of it. For it to make sense. Which it certainly seems to do. Let's see. What's going on? There's something very strange going on with my streaming, I think. Something muchos bizarre that I can't figure out. It's not really playing ball. Streaming, I think. Although it looks like maybe it is playing ball. Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. It certainly says it's streaming. But when I look at it on my phone, P to the home, it refuses to play. Very bizarre. Let's test something. This is a test. This is a test. Interesting. Oh well, I guess that's fine. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I guess it's working. Looks like it might be my yeah, looks like it's my Streameroo isn't playing ball. Anyway, a two-armed, five-legged, two-tailed, one-winged ninja giraffe holding one Bible in its mouth and 2 Bibles in its hands. That's some pretty good going, in my opinion. So, what's next? Next is wearing. For them wearing clothes. One thing I want to see though, if I change the complexity to 1, better. Definitely better than it was. So now when I up the complexity, hopefully it'll actually make sense. Previously my complexity didn't really work. So that's pretty cool. So next up would be to add wearing. So as well as item, I need worn item, which is going to be a separate thing altogether. Well, it's not. It's actually going to reuse a lot of this stuff. It's just going to inherit off item, I think. Although item type is not going to be the same thing. It's going to have to be a different enum, so I don't know if I can just inherit off it. It's going to be a bit more complex. There is a lot of shared functionality. So, what's going to be the best option here? Make it generic. Make it generic. Generic could work. Don't really want to though. Make a base class that contains color and adjective but not type. Could do that too. Don't really want to do that. I think for now I'll call it a day. Actually got quite a lot done there. Pretty pleased with how this has gone. What's the complexity of 2 look like? 2-armed ninja eagle holding 1 sword in its mouth and 1 Bible in its hands. A no-legged pirate eagle holding 1 Bible in its mouth. So, in terms of our goal, we didn't quite get there. We haven't added the modifiers yet. That's the next thing to do, actually. Where's the item builder? We need to add something here for adding a color. We need to go like public static item add color. This item. We need to go item dot color equals random helpers dot random enum value color return item, and then we need to do the same for adjectives. Public static item add adjective. This item dot adjective equals random helpers dot random enum value adjective return item. So now in the bodybuilder, where we're creating this, we can say if complexity is greater than 1, item dot add color if complexity is greater than 2, item dot add adjective. Or should they be the other way around? Set the complexity to 3 just to get the full effect. A 3-armed, no-legged pirate human holding one tiny white Bible in its mouth and one giant white Bible and one giant white sword in its hands. Doesn't read very well. Maybe that should be whilst also holding. Whilst also holding. It's in body. Get holding string. Whilst also holding. Let's see what that looks like. One-armed, no-legged ninja human holding one tiny white sword in its mouth while also holding one tiny black Bible in its hand. Two-headed, three-legged, one-winged pirate human holding one tiny white sword and one giant black sword in its mouths, while also holding one tiny black Bible in its hands. That actually makes sense. That actually makes sense. Grammatically. So I'm pretty pleased with that. All we'll need to do is add new items, new colors, new adjectives, and that will be rocking. For now. Then tomorrow I can work on the wearing side of things so that they can wear clothes. If I want to bother with that. Maybe I should leave off on the wearing for now. And try and focus on the other side of it, which is going to be the actions that it's doing, that it's performing. So I've got multiple ideas for things I could do tomorrow. I'll also want to turn it into a website, which means that I can get my Angular, Bootstrap, single page application skills on the go. It's a bit annoying starting up a new application like that, but I don't want to get too rusty at it, so I probably should. But for now, think that's me for today. Not that anyone's watched this apart from that Mexican guy earlier who didn't really stick around, offered to make a maintenance page, whatever that is, and then left. So that was unfortunate. It's unfortunate my mic wasn't working. I would have liked to ask him what the hell a maintenance page was, what he was talking about, but it is what it is. So